before the first river found its way to the sea, before the first tree dared reach the sky, before the first human drew breath into their lungs, they were already there, watching, waiting, weaving the very fabric of what you call reality. They are not gods the way you've been taught to imagine gods. They do not sit on clouds. They do not demand temples of gold. They move through the lightning. They breathe through the ocean. They are the crossroads. They are the iron. They are the storm you cannot outrun. And here's a part that should send a chill down your spine. They are still here, not in myth, not in legend, not in the dusty pages of a forgotten book, in the heartbeats of millions of living people, in the prayers whispered in Brazil, in Cuba, in Nigeria, in Haiti, in your own city, right now, as you listen to these words. This is the story of the Orishas. You are listening to Whispers from Before, where the oldest stories in the world are finally allowed to speak. Stay with me. Every word matters. To understand the Orishas, you must first understand the universe they came from. The Yoruba people of West Africa, one of the largest and oldest civilizations on the African continent, did not believe that creation was an accident. They believed it was intentional, precise, alive. At the beginning of all things, there was only Olodumare, the supreme being, the source, the infinite. Olodumare had no beginning. Olodumare will have no end. But Olodumare did not rule alone. From this boundless source poured forth the Orishas, divine emanations, each one a living force of nature-giving consciousness and will. Think of it this way. If Olodumare is the ocean, the Orishas are the waves, each one distinct, each one powerful, each one purposeful. And there are not just a few of them. Some ancient tradition holds that there are 401 Orishas. 401. That final number, the +1, is not an accident. In Yoruba cosmology, it represents that which cannot be counted, that which exceeds human understanding. Even the gods have a mystery beyond them. But today, we are not speaking of all 401. Today, we are speaking of the most powerful, the most present, the ones who never left. Before you can reach any other Orisha, before you can pray, before you can speak, before you can even begin, you must first pass through Eshu. Eshu Elegba, the keeper of the crossroads, the divine trickster, the messenger between worlds. In Yoruba tradition, Eshu stands at every crossroads, literal and spiritual. Every decision you have ever made, every path you chose, and every path you did not, Eshu is already standing there. He is the Orisha beginnings of communication, of fate. Nothing happens in the universe without first passing through Eshu. And here is what makes Eshu unlike any god you may have encountered before. Eshu exists beyond simple human ideas of good and evil. He is both, at once, always. Eshu is the chaos inside order, the truth inside a lie, the open door and the locked gate, depending entirely on how you approach him. He is depicted in tradition as a small, mischievous figure who smokes a pipe and carries a long staff. His colors are red and black, the colors of both danger and power. And every single ceremony in Yoruba and Candomblé and Santeria tradition, across the Atlantic, across centuries of history, begins with Eshu, because without his permission, nothing that follows can reach the divine. Remember that the next time you stand at a crossroads in your own life, Something ancient may already be watching. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and imagine every river, every ocean, every drop of water that has ever fallen to the sky or coursed through the veins of a living thing. Now imagine all of that, alive. That is Yemoja, mother of waters, mother of all living, the Orishas of the ocean and rivers, of fertility, of protection, of the womb from which all life emerges. Her name in Yoruba translates as mother whose children are like fish, meaning her children are beyond counting, beyond measure. She is depicted as a vast and beautiful woman draped in blue and white, the colors of deep water and breaking waves. Enslaved Africans, stolen from their homeland and forced across the Atlantic, carried Yemoja with them in their hearts. When the ships crossed the ocean, they believed they were crossing through her body. She survived the Middle Passage. She survived colonization. She survived every attempt to erase her. Today, Yemoja is worshipped from Lagos to Sao Paulo to New Orleans. Offerings of blue flowers and seashells and silver are cast into the ocean in her honor to this very day. Some powers cannot be drowned. And then, without warning, the sky splits open. Shango, the Orisha of thunder, lightning, fire, and justice. If Yemoja is the depth of the ocean, Shango is the sky at war with itself. He was once a human king, the third elephant, the ruler of the ancient Oyo Empire in what is now Nigeria. A man of such ferocity, such power, such terrifying charisma, that when he died, the world refused to let him be ordinary. He ascended, he became. Shango is depicted as a muscular, royal figure wearing red and white, carrying a double-headed axe called the Osh, which represents the two-sided nature of justice. Mercy on one side, consequence on the other. When thunder rumbles, the Yoruba say, Shango is speaking. When lightning strikes, he has made a judgment, and no one who has been struck by lightning in certain Yoruba traditions is considered cursed. They are considered chosen, touched by the divine. When was the last time you looked at a storm the same way? There is an Orisha who does not speak in thunder or move in waves. He speaks in iron. Ogun, the Orisha of iron, wore labor and the forge, the patron of all who work with metal, soldiers, surgeons, mechanics, blacksmiths, farmers, every knife that saves a life, every scalpel in an operating room, every tool used to build shelter. Ogun is in that iron. He is ancient. Some traditions hold him as one of the first Orishas to descend to earth, and he carries the weight of that age on him. Ogun lives in a forest. He is fierce and solitary, the divine loner, the one who clears a path so others can walk through. In parts of the world, when someone takes an oath in a court of law and swears on a machete instead of a Bible, they are swearing by Ogun, because an oath broken before Ogun has consequences that no human court can measure. And then, as if the universe needed balance, there is Oshun, sweetness, gold, honey, love. Oshun is the Orisha of fresh water, of rivers, of love, of beauty, of fertility, of art, of everything that makes life worth living. She wears gold and yellow. She is associated with the peacock and the vulture, because beauty and survival are not opposites. They are the same force wearing different faces. The Yoruba teach that when Olodumare first sent the Orishas to earth, the male Orishas refused to include Oshun in their plans, and so she withdrew. The earth became barren. Nothing grew. No love, no fertility, no joy. The male Orishas went back to Olodumare in desperation, and Olodumare told them what they refused to understand. Without Oshun, nothing works. They returned to her. They invited her, and the world bloomed again. There's an ancient lesson in that story, and it is one the world is still learning. Of all the Orishas, there is one who stands apart. High above, older than old, colder than the sky before the sun was born. Obatala, the king of the white cloth, the creator of human bodies, the Orisha of purity, wisdom, peace, and the divine mind. In Yoruba tradition, it was Obatala whom Olodumare commissioned to create the physical forms of human beings. He descended from the heavens on a chain of iron, carrying a calabash of sand and a five-toed chicken, and from these shaped the earth in the first human bodies. Every human body, regardless of ability, regardless of form, is sacred to Obatala. He is the patron of those born with physical differences, of the elderly, of the disabled, because in his theology, there is no imperfect vessel. Every body was shaped by his hands. He wears only white. He eats no salt, drinks no palm wine, touches no impurity. And there is a sobering teaching attached to his name. The myth tells that on the day Obatala descended to create humanity, he grew tired. He drank palm wine. He became intoxicated. And in his altered state, he continued to shape bodies. And in some traditions, the story says humanity emerged in many different forms, each still sacred in the eyes of Obatala. When he sobered, he wept, and he made a vow to be the eternal guardian of every being his hands had ever touched, especially those the world might call imperfect. The oldest gods carry the oldest guilt and the oldest mercy. Here is something that history books rarely tell you. When enslaved Africans were dragged across the ocean, forced to convert, forced to forget, forced to abandon everything that made them who they were. Many practitioners associate the Orishas with Catholic saints, sometimes for survival, sometimes through spiritual blending, and often both. Yemoja was hidden behind Our Lady of Regla. Shango wore the mantle of St. Barbara. Eshu became St. Anthony, and Oshun was whispered through Our Lady of Charity. The names changed, the faces changed, but the prayers never stopped. This is what it means to be truly alive. Not even centuries of erasure, not slavery, not colonization, not forced conversion could kill them. Today, the traditions of Candomblé in Brazil, Santeria in Cuba, Trinidad Shango Baptist faith, and Ifa in West Africa carry the Orishas forward into the 21st century. Tens of millions of living, breathing human beings in this world right now honor the Orishas. Call on them, dance for them, receive them, because in Yoruba cosmology, the Orishas do not simply answer prayers from a distance. They descend, they enter, they become, and perhaps, just perhaps, they always have. You have heard only the beginning. There are 401 Orishas, and we have touched only a handful of their names. Orunmila, the Orisha who witnessed all of creation and holds the secrets of fate in his hands. Oya, the warrior queen who rules the wind, death, and transformation. Babaluai, the lord of disease and healing, the one the desperate call when all other hope is gone. Their whispers are already waiting. Do not miss them. If these stories speak to something inside you, something old, something that recognizes truth in ancient things, then subscribe to Whispers from Before. The next whisper has already been set into motion, and the ones who are not here will not hear it. The Orishas are still speaking. Are you still listening? Whispers from Before